Top Accolade Global News Updates. I am Soibifa Jackridge. Russia has handed out more than $12 billion in state subsidies and loans to keep its aviation sector afloat since Western sanctions over Moscow's invasion of Ukraine cut off supplies of key parts and maintenance services. Dependent on foreign-made aircraft, Russia faces the daunting task of developing its aviation industry alone with domestically sourced parts while buying aircraft from foreign lessors to avoid more of its fleet being sized. Western plane makers Airbus and Boeing halted supplies of services and spare parts in March 2022 and dropped regular maintenance support for flag carrier Aeroflot and other Russian airlines. Since then, Russia has spent 1.9 trillion rubles, that is $12.7 billion, supporting the civil aviation industry, including aircraft manufacturing and financial assistance for airlines. Based on data from the Ministry of Finance and the Accounts Chamber, which oversees budget execution, the spending is almost twice as much as 547 billion rubles in payments made in 2020 to 2021, when the COVID-19 pandemic caused a drastic reduction in air travel and highlights the scale of the Kremlin's efforts to wrest control of a crucial industry. The importance of a reliable air industry is particularly crucial for Russia, both for transporting people and goods across its enormous territory and to bolster Moscow's narrative that sanctions have had but a minimal impact. With voters heading to the poll in 3 months, the collapse of an airline could apply reputational and electoral pressure on Putin, who is running again for president. As a key aviation power since Soviet times, Russia's technical ability is not in doubt. Western aviation analysts say the investment will at best keep the fleet flying but doubt its aircraft will return to Western markets anytime soon. Even if the conflict in Ukraine ends, that's because of the costs and bureaucracy involved in rebuilding a fleet with a clean and traceable safety record and approved parts. For the first time since mass European migration to the Americas at the turn of the 20th century, the number of foreigners living in Uruguay is on the rise. Since time driven by a wave of arrivals from Venezuela and Cuba, foreign-born residents represented 3% of the 3.4 million Uruguayan population in 2023, up from 2% a decade ago. The country's latest census data show it is the first increase since 1908. Political and economic turmoil in Venezuela and Cuba over the last decade has driven an exodus to South America and north towards the United States. Uruguay's relative economic stability, higher wages and job security, and vaunted public education system make it an attractive destination, migrants say. Although the cost of living is high, in capital Montevideo this month, volunteers at the annual Venezuelan community Christmas party were busy wrapping a record number of small gifts from Papa Noel to distribute to children. Political and economic turmoil in Venezuela and Cuba over the last decade has driven an exodus to South America and north towards the United States. Cemento co-founder Manos Veneguas in 2017, a non-profit that helps Venezuelans migrants settle in Uruguay, where the government has looked to welcome foreign workers to bolster its dwindling population. Soccer bodies UEFA and FIFA contravened EU law when they prevented the formation of the European Super League (ESL), the European Court of Justice said on Thursday. The EU's top court ruled that FIFA and UEFA abused their dominant position by forbidding clubs outright to compete in European Super League, but added that the competition may still not be approved. Sports development company A22, formed to assist in the creation of the ESL, had claimed UEFA and global soccer governing body FIFA held a monopoly position which was in breach of the EU's competition and free movement law. "We have won the right to compete. UEFA monopoly is over. Football is free," said A22 CEO Ben Reichert. "Clubs are now free from the threat of sanction and free to determine their own futures," Reichert added in a statement. Canada's BlackBerry reported a surprise quarterly profit on Wednesday, backed by a resilient demand by cybersecurity services amid rising online threats. While IT spending has dwindled over the past year, cybersecurity-related expenditure has remained stable as businesses and governments scramble to beef up their systems against hackers. Over the past few months, casino giants such as MGM Resorts International and Caesars Entertainment faced large data breaches, forcing businesses to prioritize cybersecurity. Earlier this month, BlackBerry discarded its initial public offering plans for its Internet of Things (IoT) businesses, but still expects to split the IoT and cybersecurity businesses into fully standalone divisions. BlackBerry also plans to simplify the corporate structure of the company so that each business unit may operate independently and on a profitable and cash flow positive basis. BlackBerry expects fourth quarter revenue in the range of $150 million to $159 million. The Waterloo, Canada-based company reported adjusted net profits of 1 cent per share in the quarter ending November 30th, compared with a loss of 5 cents per share a year earlier. Revenue in the third quarter rose to $175 million from $169 million. Analysts on average had expected revenue of $473.5 million, according to LSEG data. Social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, has restored globally early Thursday, with over 77,000 US users facing issues at the peak of the outage. Users in Canada, Britain, France, and other countries reported issues with accessing both X and X Pro, earlier known as TweetDeck. Over 7,000 users in Canada and Britain experienced issues with the platform, according to Down Detector data. Down Detector tracked outages by collating status reports from several sources, including users. The cause of the outage, which began a little after 12 a.m. ET, is not yet known, and emails to X communications and support teams bounced back. Users on X, owned by billionaire Elon Musk, experienced an inability to view posts, receiving a welcome to X message. X Pro users encountered a message that said waiting for posts. The social media platforms faced upheaval and uncertainty following Musk's $44 billion acquisition, leading to layoffs, including numerous engineers responsible for fixing and preventing service outages. Users took to rival Meta's app Threads to discuss the outage, citing difficulties in accessing posts, replies, and profiles on X. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Thursday.